Hello everyone and welcome to my third video. Today's video is on the chapter How the Dog Found Himself a New Master. I will be explaining the chapter in my this video paragraph wise. I hope all of you are geared up for this. So let's jump in. But before jumping onto the explanation, let me tell you about the objective of the story. And it's about that a dog how he finally finds his master. Now let's get started. Dogs were once their own masters and lived the way wolves do, in freedom, until a dog was born who was ill pleased with this way of life. He was sick and tired of wandering about by himself, looking for food and being threatened of those who were stronger than he. Now let me explain to you this paragraph 1. Paragraph 1 says that dogs, just like wolves, were once their own masters, living in freedom, but not until it was relied on a dog who felt ill pleased about his way of life. Now, the word ill pleased here means unsatisfied, just the way you might be ill pleased with your life at times. The dog was displeased with his life. Moreover, the dog felt sick and was tired of strolling around in search of food and frightened of the ones who were stronger than he was. Moving on to the next paragraph, let's see what the author has to say to all of you in this paragraph. He thought it over and decided that the best thing for him to do was to become the servant of one who was stronger than anyone on earth, and he set out to find such a master. Explaining this paragraph, the dog thought about it and came to a conclusion that the best thing to do was to wander about finding a master who would be stronger than anyone else in this earth. So he set out to search his master. The third paragraph says, he walked, and he met a kinsman of his, a big wolf who was as strong as he was fierce. Where are you going, dog? The wolf asked. Here, the word kinsman means someone who's violent and frightening. I am looking for someone to take up service with. Would you like to be my master wolf? Here, the phrase to take up service with means to become servant of. I don't see why not, the wolf said, and this agreed upon. The two of them went on together. Now, explaining this paragraph 3 to all of you, the dog then, after some time, found a fierce animal and his kinsman, who was none other than a wolf. The wolf, upon seeing the dog, asked where was he going. The dog then replied, saying that he was in search to serve someone as his master, and further added, saying that would the wolf like to be his master? At a drop of a hat, the dog accepted that, and they both went on together. I hope all of you must have understood up to paragraph 3. And I hope also that all of you are enjoying listening to me and my explanation. Now let's move on to paragraph 4. The author says here, they walked, and all of a sudden the wolf lifted his nose, sniffed, darted. The word darted here means to move quickly away from somewhere or suddenly, quickly off the path and into the bushes and crept deeper into the forest. The dog was much surprised. What's come over you, master? He asked. What has frightened you so? Can't you see there's a bear out there and he might eat up both of us? You and me? So now that I've finished reading out this paragraph to you, I would like to now explain it. Out of blue, the wolf moved away quickly, lifted his nose and sniffed and crept deeper into the forest, much to the dog's surprise. He then questioned him, asking about what's wrong that he suddenly swept his way and was frightened. The wolf replied, saying that there's a bear out there who might eat them up. Paragraph 5 says, seeing that the bear was stronger than the wolf, the dog decided to take up service with him, and he left the wolf and asked the bear to be his master. The bear agreed to this readily and said, let us go and find a herd of cows. I will kill a cow and then we can both eat our fill. Now, explaining this paragraph, the wolf was so much scared. The dog then left the wolf, finding the bear stronger than the wolf, and decided to serve as a servant to bear, as seeing that the bear was stronger than the wolf, and asked whether the bear was ready to be his master. The bear readily agreed and said that to accompany along with him and fill their tummy, killing one of the cows from the herd they both saw. Let's go on to paragraph 6. They walked on and soon saw a herd of cows. But just as they were about to come up to it, they were stopped by a terrible noise. The cows were mooing loudly and running in a panic in all directions. Now, explaining this paragraph with the meaning of the word panic, I'll be also explaining the meaning of the word panic. The dog and the bear walked on and soon saw a herd of cows. But just as both of them were about to get nearer to the herd, they were stopped by a terrible noise. And then the cows were running in all directions, mooing loudly out of panic. The word panic here means a sudden sensation of fear. Paragraph 7. Let's see what the author has to say in this paragraph. The bear looked out from behind a tree, and then he too ran hastily deeper into the forest. The word hastily here means to hurry. Now, why did I have to come here? Said he to the dog. It is a lion who rules the forest in these parts. The lion? Who's he? Don't you know he's the strongest beast on earth? Well, then I will say goodbye to you, bear. I want a master who is stronger than anyone on earth. Explaining paragraph 7, this paragraph says that the bear from behind the tree looked out and then he too ran hastily deeper into the forest. The bear then said to the dog that why was he there, and then he further added, saying that the lion rules in those parts of the forest in which they were situated in, presently that they were situated in. Now, when the dog asked the lion, who was he? The bear replied that he is the strongest beast in the earth. And that said, the dog left the bear upon finding the lion stronger than the bear, and exclaiming that he wanted to serve someone stronger on this earth. Paragraph 8 says, and off the dog went to ask the lion to be his master. The lion agreed to it, and the dog stayed with him and served him for a long, long time. It was a good life, and he had nothing to complain of, for there was no stronger beast in the forest than the lion, and no one dared touch the dog or offend him in any way. Here, the word dared means to be brave enough to do something. Now I'll be explaining this paragraph 8, saying the dog went off to the lion to ask whether he was ready to be his master. The lion agreed to it. Happily. He was very happy with this decision that he was agreed upon this. And the dog stayed and served the lion for a long time. There was nothing to complain, for there was no other stronger beast than the lion in the forest. No one dared to touch the dog or offend him in any way. The dog was living the best of his life. Paragraph 9 says, but one day the two of them were walking side by side along a path that ran amid bare cliffs. The word cliffs means here a steep, high rock, often at the edge of the sea. When all of a sudden the lion stopped, he gave a great roar and struck the ground angrily with his paw with such force that a hole formed there. Then he began to back very quietly. What is it, master? Is anything wrong? Asked the dog, surprised. I smell a man coming this way, the lion said. We did better run for it or we will be in trouble. Oh, well, then I will say goodbye to you, lion. I want a master who is stronger than anyone on earth. Explaining this paragraph 9, one day the two of them, the lion and the dog, were walking along a path where the path ran amid the bare cliffs. The lion suddenly stopped and gave a roar. He angrily struck the ground, making a hole there on the ground, and quietly was stepping backwards. The dog, out of astonishment, asked the lion what had happened to him. And the lion replied to the dog, saying that the lion noticed a man coming. They did better run away, otherwise, they will be in trouble. The dog left the lion, saying him goodbye, as he found the man stronger than the lion upon looking at the lion's reaction towards the man, and that he wanted someone stronger on this earth. The lion told the dog to run away, but he stayed instead of running away with the lion. The last and the final paragraph of the story says, and off the dog went to join the man, and he stayed with him and served him faithfully. This happened long, long ago, but to this day, the dog is man's most loyal servant and knows no other master. So now I'm about to explain this paragraph. And off the dog went to the man. He stayed with him and served him faithfully. No one else was stronger than a man on this earth. That's the reason he left the lion. This happened long time ago, but to this day the dog serves as the man's most loyal and honest servant and doesn't know any other master than a man or human beings. Thanks all of you for listening to my video. I hope all of you have understood my explanation. Meet all of you in my next video in which I will be discussing about the questions and answers. Goodbye all.